Welcome to ZenMadman versus Machine, round 6. We are doing cutoff, raise first in against button, 3-bet, right? 2-bet, 3-bet, call. We take some flops. Let's get into it. King 10-8 monotone. We are not having any leads on monotone boards. The only boards we're leading are these like small straight boards. So here we can do a ton of folding, and this hand just goes gently into the muck. And we lose to ace-8, which my first thought was, oh, we were ahead of ace-8 pre-flop, but they flopped a pair, and they decided to go for the bet there. 7-6 deuce. We usually are going like half pot or 3/4 pot on these small boards, but we're not betting range. So this feels like a decent hand to be checking back some. It's an okay hand to bet as well, I guess, as we do have some backdoor straight stuff, and maybe we can get some better ace-high to fold, but I'm going to go ahead and check it. Solver likes to check most of the time, and it does, look at that, it wants half pot when we do bet. Now, against a bet, it's like tempting to be like, well, maybe I can call. I mean, I am blocking one of the two combos of ace deuce. So I don't know, but I think we can just fold this ace high combo. Yeah, pure fold. Maybe with a better ace high with like 2 overcards where we've got better equity against a 7, a 6, or a pocket pair. Maybe some of those we continue. Okay, monotone board. We're not going to have any donks on something like this. And I think we just basically check fold on a board like this. Now when they check it back, we're blocking queen 10 suited, king 10 suited. I like that. Also a little bit of the offsuit, right? Like queen of clubs, 10 of spades, which they don't have in range. And they don't have king 10 in range either. So that doesn't, or maybe they have a sliver or something. So I don't hate using this as a bluff. I think we can bet small. We can also use some overbets, right? You know what? Let's try it. Let's experiment. Let's say, does this work as an overbet, or do we need diamonds for it? Maybe we need diamonds to do that. I don't know. I'm going to go small. Yeah. Okay. So it was fine either way. Either way was fine. This is good enough to get these ace high hands to fold. Whereas if we use the overbet, then maybe we can get some like actual pairs to fold, right? They must be kind of miserable in those spots. All right. Ace queen 9, two-tone. This feels like a board that we get to bet either range or close to range. If we're not range betting though, this is a real good hand to check back. So I don't know. What do we think? Do we think we're range betting this? Is it too wet? I think it's too connected to range bet. So I'm going to check this one back. Solver wants to mostly bet it, but it does have a fair amount of checks here. So maybe just going for the range bet would have been the way to go. Just kind of like simplifying to that, probably in human terms. Full pot bet, I think we can fold. We're crushed by so many hands, and their bluffs actually have massive equity against us. So it's a pure call, though. It wants to call pure. It's worth 12 cents, which is not a ton in a pot this size. But it's less than 1% a pot. So I'm not really that worried about that mistake in terms of percentage of pot size. So I'm not going to worry about it. I do wonder, what was the flop bet was just going to be third pot. I think they just check call. I'm going to hit replay hand because I kind of want to see how they behave against the third pot bet. They're probably going to call. No, they fold. Okay. Yeah. So they actually just check fold bottom pair. So because of that, we want to be betting all these under pairs because basically we get a 9 to fold. We get called by an ace or a queen sometimes a draw. And, you know, we can bank an 8 and then get value from like an ace probably. So interesting. It's nice that you can kind of replay it and see like, okay, what would have happened? Or you can dig into the sims if you want. Monotone boards, we're going to do a fair amount of checking. I do think that this hand benefits a decent amount from betting. We can maybe get value from an 8 or a 6. Usually the pair that's directly above like middle pair is one of the pairs we bet the most. Monotone board might make this an exception, but I do think if we're betting, it's going to be this third pot. Let's go for it. Yeah, solver's like, nah, you should mostly check this. But, you know, you can bet it some. And I don't think this is going to be a good barreling hand. In terms of bluffs, I think we want a heart, right? Or we want an actual straight draw, which we're basically never going to have. Maybe we have like a 9 or something, or like queen jack offsuit with like a queen of hearts. Seems like a good barrel. But this, I think we just check back pure. And that is correct. And when we are betting, we're using a lot of half pot sizing, actually. I wonder if that's a pattern on these monotone boards. At some point, we will dig in more deeply to turn play, but at the moment, this is kind of what we're playing around with. And I mean, I don't see that much value in turning this into a bluff now. We're still beating an 8. Yes, we lose to like a king or a 10, and maybe we can get those to fold, but I think mostly we just want to check back, take our showdown against pocket 4s, and take the pot of 29 blinds. Disconnected board, but two-tone, right? I mean, the deuce 3 is connected, and there are like ace 4, ace 5, 4, 5 suited in both players' ranges. These boards, I think we should probably be betting range, something like third pot, maybe occasionally half pot. Yeah, it actually prefers half pot, but third pot is also fine. And there are some checks. So I would say if you look at a strategy like this and you want to simplify it, just bet third pot with range, and that's going to be fine, right? There's not going to be anything wrong with that. You're getting hands like 6s to fold for third pot. And when you get called or check raised, you got room to play. The flush draw, I didn't need the flush draw basically to be betting there, right? It was just an easy spot to just put in lots of action. Okay, 10-9-5. Again, this feels like a board we can bet either range or close to range. Third pot or half pot both feel okay. I'm going to go third. Again, we have another one of those situations where third or half are both good. Half is slightly preferred, but there's nothing wrong with probably just third pot range here. Again, I think if third pot range is fine, like maybe just do it, right? I don't believe there's going to be any donking here. I think we're going to check call this board a lot. Was there much raising on these paired boards? I don't recall. So, betting here, I would have expected them to bet a lot. So when they check back, it's a little weird. The king is, I think it's not a great card for their check back range, right? They're going to check back maybe like a lot of ace high type, so not so much king high. So this might be decent for my range. I think I could probably start with a small bet, but because their range overall was stronger, I don't know. I feel a little disoriented here. It feels like a weird spot where I would bet a lot, except that the king. Like if the king was a deuce, I would bet this hand. And this is actually a pure check. Maybe now when they check, now I want to bet rivers that are bricks or like a king on the river. I think we have quite a comfortable bet. Here, my hand looks like a hand that we could turn into a bluff, but are we getting better hands to fold? Like 9s through queens feel like they would have bet flop. King X feels like it would have bet turn. So I think we just check and try and get our showdown. Otherwise, maybe this small bet size, because they've gone check twice, I do think that we can bet a lot with our range, but this just doesn't feel like a hand that benefits that much from it. But it does like that small bet, which was kind of my first instinct. Well, I don't know if it was my first instinct. It was an instinct. Since it wanted me to put that bet in, though, I almost feel like this makes a fantastic bluff catcher, and I'm not quite buying what they're selling. So I'm going to call. It's maybe a little ambitious. But yeah, it's like a pure call. All right, so they check back kings on the flop. I guess you do that at some tiny frequency. And then they turn to boat, and then they check back again. And yeah, and it looks like they're supposed to check back pure on that turn. Because like the main thing that you would want to get value from would be a king, I think. Or that would be one of the things. And like a 5 might bet here a lot. So I don't know. Weird hand. Lots of pocket pair versus pocket pair hands in this one so far. 9-9-8, we're not going to have any leads here. Not to speak of anyway. I do think, can we peel here? Probably not for half pot. I think we do a good amount of folding, I believe, on these paired boards. So I think we can just go ahead and put a hand this strong in the muck. And the answer is yes. All right, so I'm going to try to have these be 10 hands at a time. I think that might be a good length. We're going to test it out. I'm going to try doing one of these every day. Let me know what you think of the format. I know some of you already have. Overall, gotten pretty positive feedback on it. Hit like and subscribe if you watch the video. Super helpful for the channel. Trying to build it up to where I can, make more thought out videos more frequently. But I kind of like this format. I am going to mess with the layout though, and hopefully make the table a little bigger for you. So maybe it'll be a slightly larger, slightly more pleasant experience, especially like on mobile and something. I mean, I think there's no reason a video like this can't be a good experience on mobile. So I'm going to try and make that happen for you. So thanks so much for watching, hanging out, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.